Hello and welcome. In this video, we will learn few more things related to price action trading. Alright? Now, let us assume that we are analyzing a chart and the chart is of monthly time frame. Okay? Now, let us say that the price comes down to this level and it moves up. Now, when this happens, we check if all the things that we have learned till now are being satisfied. And if yes, we mark a zone here. And let us say that this is the monthly demand zone. Okay. Now, if the price comes back to this level once again, do we take an entry here or do we enter the trade here? Yes, correct. How many times did the price come to this level? Once and twice. This is the second time. So we will take an entry here, hoping that the price will go up. Okay. Now, if the price comes to this level once again, do we take an entry here too? According to the things or the rules that we have learned, we do not take an entry when the price comes to any level the third time, right? But here, since this is monthly demand zone, we can take an entry. Okay? Monthly demand zones are the strongest. Now, if you take the movement of price from here to here, it will take almost 4 to 5 months for the price to come to this level. And for the price to move from here to here, it may take 4 or 5 months more. And for the price to come from here to here, it may take 4 more months. Meaning, for the price to come from here to here, it takes almost a year. Okay? And a lot of things can happen in a year. Alright? So, the demand zone or supply zone of monthly time frame works 4 to 5 times. Okay? So, if you come here, or if the price comes here, you can take an entry, and price comes here, you can take an entry, and if the price comes here, you can take an entry, hoping that the price will go up. Okay? Now you must remember that monthly demand zones are stronger than the monthly supply zones. Okay? What do you mean by demand zone? Demand zone is where you are getting the stocks of the company at a lesser price. Correct? What are supply zones? Supply zones are where the shares are sold. If the price comes to demand zone again and again, there will be more people buying it because they are getting it for less amount or less cost. But when it goes to supply level, people are selling it. But sometimes what happens is people may not sell, assuming that the price may go up. They had bought somewhere here, let us say, and if it is at a supply level, they may assume that the price will still go up and they may hold it. Okay? Now, if this happens in a large quantity, price may not come back from supply zone and it may go up. Okay? Now, anything can happen in stock market. What I am explaining here is my understanding. Alright? Now, since monthly demand zones are strongest, you can take an entry here, and here. Alright? If we come to weekly demand zone, weekly demand zones are less stronger than monthly demand zones. So the price comes one time here, It comes for the second time here and you can take an entry. It comes for the third time here, you can take an entry, but the fourth time you must be careful. Okay? It may take, let us say, 4 to 5 weeks for the price to come here, and 4-5 weeks to come here, 4-5 weeks to come here. Meaning, for the price to come from here to here, it took almost 3-4 weeks. Sorry, 3-4 months. Alright, 3-4 months. It is not a very big duration. So, the weekly demand zones are less stronger than the monthly zones. So, you can take entry 3-4 times, but after that you have to be careful. The fourth time you have to be careful in reality. Okay. Now, the daily demand zones are less stronger than the weekly zones. It may take 3-4-5 days for the price to come here, then 7-8-9-10 days to go here, then once again 10 days to come here, once again 10 days to go here. Okay, for the price to come from here to here, let us say it takes a month. Okay, and nothing much can happen in a month generally, and so the demand and supply zones will not be as strong as the weekly or monthly supply and demand zones. So if the price comes one time and then second time we take an entry, third time we can take an entry, but it will be risky. Okay, because we do not know what will happen, whether the price will come down or it will go up. It may go up, it may go down, but the entry will be risky. Once again, if it goes up and once again if it comes down, we generally do not take an entry. Alright. Now, we have learnt about the setups, the 4 setups. This is rally, base, drop, and here we mark supply zone. Correct? This is drop, base, rally, and here we mark demand zones. Now you know how a rally and a drop candle should look like. Correct? Big body, less wick. Big body, less wick. Right? Now, what happens in reality is you may not find perfect setups like these. You may not find perfect candles like these too. So if you keep on waiting for a perfect setup to appear, you will not be taking a trade at all. Okay? Rarely we come across setups like this. So, even if we have a big candle with some amount of wicks, we have to consider it as a rally candle. Even if there is a big candle with a big wick, we have to consider it as a drop candle if the price has gone down. Okay. Now, the next thing is, rarely you will find these setups in monthly time frames. Okay. I'm not saying you will not find, I'm saying it is rare to find this. Why? Because monthly time frame takes a lot of time. Correct? And for 2 rally candles to appear and 1 base candle to appear and 2 2 drop candles to appear, it takes almost half a year. So it will not be like this, and we have to go with this. Okay, what is this? This is rally, base, rally. This is drop, base, drop. This here is also a demand zone. This here is also a supply zone. And these are the things that we generally find in monthly time frames. Okay. In weekly and in daily and in smaller time frames, we can find plenty of these and these too. But in monthly time frames, we go for this and this generally. Okay, we can find this and this generally. All right. So this must also be in your mind. Next, let us say we have a setup. Let us say we have a setup. Okay. Is this a good setup? Let us see. We have a swing and we have two leg outs in this swing, and we have a drop base rally setup. We have two leg outs in this setup. This leg out is crossing this swing and it is moving up, right? So this is a valid setup. This is a good setup. And if the price comes to this level, will we be taking an entry here? According to the rules, yes. Correct? But now, let us analyze the buying and selling pressure. Now, what do I mean by buying and selling pressure? Look at the size of the green candles from this level to this level. You can see we have a body, we have wicks too. Then we have a base candle, we have a green body, good green body, but we have wicks too. We have green body, we have small wicks, and we have small body and big wicks. Okay? And now look at the red candles. Look at the size of red candles. You have very big red candle here, small wick, very big red candle, small wick, very big red candle, small wick. Okay? If you count the number of candles too, it took almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days for the price to reach from here to here. And it took only 1, 2, 3 days for it to come back to this level. Okay. Now tell me, is the buying pressure more or the selling pressure more? Meaning, are the buyers strong here or the sellers? You can see that the buyers are really trying hard to take the price up. But then sellers are able to take the price down quickly. Meaning, the sellers are strong here. So, the question is, would we be taking an entry here? We can take an entry and we have to take an entry because we do not know the situation happening behind it. We do not know how many pending orders are here. We do not know how many pending orders are here too. Here the pending orders may be 1 lakh. Here it may be 2 lakhs, and that is why we have a big drop here. Okay. Now if we have a lot of pending orders here and we have less pending orders here, then this level will not hold and the price will move down. The next case would be, this may be a manipulation by big players too. Okay. Big players show that there is selling pressure. And who looks at charts? People like you and me. Small players look at big red candles and think that price is coming down, and it is coming down violently with big candles, and small players think that there is a lot of selling pressure here and this level will not hold. So what they will do is sell all the shares that they have when the price reaches here. Okay. What do the sellers want to do? They want to buy shares. And when can they buy shares? When someone is selling them. So what do? They create panic in the market. When they create panic in the market, small traders sell their shares, and when the small traders sell their shares, the big players buy them and then take the price up. Okay. What did the small traders do? They thought that the price will go down and sold their shares. What did the big players do? They bought the shares from small players and took the price up. Ultimately, whatever the big players want to happen in the market will happen. Okay. The setups like this are difficult to obtain in monthly time frame. Alright. So you can see, for setup like this to happen in monthly time frame, it will take almost a year or two. Okay. So it is difficult to obtain this. I'm not saying it is impossible. There are setups like this, but very difficult. Okay. In weekly and daily and in all the smaller time frames, you can find setups like this. Now the question comes, why do big players manipulate the market? What is a need for manipulation? Now let me try to answer this. See, in the beginning of this video series, in the first video itself, I had explained about masks and sanitizers. Correct? If there is a demand for 10 lakh masks, then the companies can produce 10 lakh masks. If there is a demand for 20 lakh sanitizers, companies can produce 20 lakh sanitizers. If there is a demand for 1 lakh masks or sanitizers, the companies can produce it, because there is no limitation on the number that can be produced. But if we come to the stock market, we know that the number of stocks of a company is limited. If you consider Infosys, number of stocks of Infosys is limited. Whatever has been issued is what we can trade in the market. We cannot buy more than what has been issued, or we cannot sell more than what we have. Right? Same goes for all the companies. Various companies have various number of shares in the market. If I want to buy more than what is in the market, I cannot do that. It is not possible. Right? Now, the financial literacy that people have right now is very good when compared with the financial literacy that people had 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Right now, if we ask anyone as to where they are putting their money, they will tell that they are investing in the stock market. They are investing in mutual funds. Okay? Now, mutual funds are the big players themselves. Now, when we have a lot of people who are wanting to buy shares, who will sell them? Now, if I put a lot of money in mutual funds, and if there are a lot of people like me putting or investing their money in mutual funds, what will the mutual funds do? They ultimately buy the shares, correct? They put our money in the stock market, an indirect way. Meaning they want to buy shares with our money. People want to buy shares, people want to buy mutual funds, or people want to invest in mutual funds. Ultimately, everyone wants to buy whatever is in stock market. Now, if everyone buys, then who will sell it? If everyone is the buyer, who is the seller then? Correct? So, more and more money, if it keeps coming to the stock market, then there has to be some seller, because we know that number of shares are limited. And this is why the big players manipulate the market. They create a panic among small traders so that they sell the shares. And when the small traders sell the shares, the big players buy them. And this is what is happening in these days. They manipulate because the number of shares is limited and the big players want to buy or want to sell also. And who are buying and who are selling from mutual funds or big players? People like you and us. Okay? So you must have this in mind while you invest or trade. Alright?